So I think everyone is here. Jai Guru. So before we begin, just some housekeeping notes. Please keep your phones on silent, and please be reminded the washrooms for the ladies and the gents is on your left, where is at the first entrance for the ladies, and for the gents is right at the back. Right? So welcome to the interactive session for the youth, achieving excellence and discovering your inner resources. All right, I hope you all are feeling loose, very quiet. Relax. It's going to be a free and easy session. Be very free if you have any questions. You know, if there's anything you want to raise or comment about, feel free to do so. Okay, so now, before we carry on, let me give you a brief introduction of our guiding lights, Puja Swamiji, Newton Swamiji, and Ma. Okay, so while they're setting up, so when you hear the word saint, what comes to your mind? God? Okay. Anyone else? Saint. Or sannyasi. Someone, a renounced person. Disciplined. Okay. Voluntary work, yes. Very knowledgeable, right. Yeah? Enlightened, yes. Actually, we are getting very good answers. So,
it sounds as if they are already enlightened.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I first started, I was thinking sannyasi is someone who gets lost in the forest, meditate for years.
Goes for 14 years.
Correct. Never come back.
Plucks fruits, eats only, lives on fruits, leaves vegetables.
No social interactions.
Lives all alone, meditates for 26 hours a day.
Yeah, so that was my understanding of a saint or a sannyasi. So when I was introduced to Swamiji, I was so shocked with what they do. And I'm like, wow, this is a very new perspective of what sannyasis or what renounced saints do. So let me make an introduction of our guiding lights. Next.
So as I told you, everybody is very nervous and that's why it's taking some time. So the more you smile at us, the more relaxed we will feel. Everything will start working.
Okay. All right. So our founder and visionary of Bhumananda Foundation is actually Swami Bhumananda Tirthaji. We also call him as Puja Swamiji. Right? He actually embraced renunciation at a very young age, at the age of 23, which is actually my age today. You know? So it's something that I can't believe. And, you know, to actually accept that is his destiny was something very unique about him. Next. He began his wandering life after renunciation for 2 to 3 years. So once he renounced everything, he did not have a proper home, he did not get food, or he didn't have enough money to sustain him. You know, so some of the devotees have actually asked him, how did you manage without money? Did you starve? Then he said, yes, he did starve, but somehow providence helped him. Somebody would give him food, somebody would give him money. Eventually, he lived in a small hut made of mud blocks and coconut palm fronds, right? And he had a few devotees with him at that time. Then the next 20 years, the next 20 years, he started propagating the knowledge of Brahmavidya, the self-knowledge, the knowledge of the self, the eternal knowledge. So as he went around spreading this knowledge, he was basically like a mobile university, moving from different parts of India and around the world. Next. See? So there was how many people that actually show up to his talks. Next. So then came a very unique phase of Swamiji's life, where he was part of socio-religious reforms. So during this time, he actually led many movements where they were going against basically inhumane religious practices, discrimination against caste, and to name a few, which will be shown in the next slide. Okay, so as you can see here, the first one was actually a practice that was done in a temple where they will actually suspend a devotee to go around the temple. So as you can see, it looks very painful because he's actually just hooked up by a hook in the crane. Other than that, there was also very vulgar practices, and there were also discrimination of caste that was happening in certain temples. Next. So there's one point of time where the press actually gave him the title as the most controversial Swamiji. Even in this case, he was actually going to be arrested. And when they were in the lockup, they were actually chanting hymns until he was released. So even though that he was in a very difficult situation, even the ashram faced a lot of opposition, a lot of threats. Even Newton Swamiji once mentioned that there were spies in the ashram, to kind of figure out what is their next move. But eventually, Puja Swamiji was determined. He remained very steadfast. He continued to go against these movements, engage in protests, keep on talking about why these practices were inhumane and cruel, So eventually, after many years, 5 to 8 years, he eventually were able to influence the minds of the people, right? So when that happened, even the public opinions in the articles, there were more people joining him to support the cause he was fighting for. So at this point of time, it was actually very unusual for a saint to basically turun padang, and fight for these issues. Next. So his concern and love for the society actually led him to establish multiple centers of inner resources development. And one of it is where we are today. Next. So this is our new center in Malaysia. We also have one in CIRD Delhi, and then we also have in North America. Next. So there's one point of time where Puja Swamiji there was a present crisis where he saw a value decline in the country. And it's something we also see in Malaysia and many parts of the world. So he began a foundation. And the foundation is called the Foundation for Restoration of National Values, which was registered as an independent society. And the chairperson is actually Padma Vibhushan E. Sridharan, who is also known as the Metro Man. So why this came up? So he actually petitioned this issue to the Supreme Court on various national issues. The first one is to definitely transform and persuade the national leaders to address this crisis of why these values, simple values, something you can think of, like honesty, right? Loyalty. So those kind of values were not being passed down. Next is to grow and love and respect for the country and have universal cultural values. And lastly is to bring changes in the minds and intelligence of the people. So for the past 60 years, he has been giving so many rational expositions on the Bhagavad Gita, on the knowledge of Vedanta. And he also had wrote innumerable books, initiated devotees, and I'm very sure you all know that he gives a lot of talks as well. So at one point of time, as I was growing up, I was exposed to the Bhagavad Gita, but I do see it as a book it's a book on Hinduism or Lord Krishna, and that's about it. So after listening to Swamiji, I actually figured out Bhagavad Gita is just not that. As he quotes, it's an administrative treasure trove. For me, it became a book about psychology, philosophy, and the way of life. Next. Next. Yeah. So this is his talks, one of his talks. Next. Okay, now we are going into Swami Nirvaseshananda Tirtha. So he actually dedicated himself wholesomely to the service of Puja Swamiji's mission, which I've mentioned earlier. So that's on knowledge dissemination, being part of those social religious reforms, and also on value education. Next. So right from the beginning, he had a natural inclination to spirituality. Although he was a PhD holder in physics and he was a scientist and lecturer in IIT Kharagpur. Next. So he actually began to also give talks on the spirituality, and it has inspired many. So what's very unique about Newton Swamiji is that he gives the knowledge, he presents the knowledge in a manner that is very logical, very practical, and very scientific. Next. So this was when he was part of those social religious reforms. So one experience that he had was that because this was happening at different states of India, he actually did not understand a lot of the languages that these protests were going on. So he actually just joined humbly, to show his support. And he was basically working really hard behind the scenes on the administration and on the arrangement of this protest. Next. So this is one of the missions that he supported as well. Next. So in one of the Vedanta workshops which I went for, that I was really shocked by the way he expressed, was the way he was able to bring the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in a very practical manner. And through his teaching was what inspired me to look at Bhagavad Gita as basically a guide to life. So as I was growing up, I had a lot of issues with anxiety. And those things a lot of them actually, were due to the unrealistic expectations we have of ourselves. I'm very sure all of you have the same experience. So as a result of it, I actually went and consulted Newton Swamiji. How do I address this? Because it's eating me alive, Sometimes I go to somebody, like today I'm able to talk to you all. At one point, I would not be able to even hold the mic. My hand will start shaking, So those kind of things I was able to learn with practice with the help of the Bhagavad Gita and Newton Swamiji's guidance. Next. This is one very interesting story. So before Newton Swamiji actually became a sannyasi, he didn't like construction. So at one point when he was working with his father assigned him, okay, go down to the construction site to help him. So he actually went hesitantly, but he brought long books with him. So before he even went there, he just stopped at a place where it's basically a resting hut. And when he was there, he actually started reading his books. He wasn't, yes, please come in, yeah. So he wasn't actually looking into the construction site at all. He just was involved in his books. So the manager at that time actually went to his father and complained that, look at your son, he's not helping. You see, the construction work is all done really wrong, it's bad. Basically, it was the fault of the manager himself, which he overlooked. But after he received sannyasin and he went to the ashram, he was again assigned construction work by Swamiji, and he spent many years on it. So this was one of the construction work that he was part of. So why am I sharing this story? I'm very sure at one point of time, you all were also asked or assigned to do something you don't like to do. What was your behavior? What was your reaction at that time? Anybody would like to share?
I wouldn't have done it.
You wouldn't have done it? Anyone else? I'm very sure that I would just run away. I will just pretend that, oh, I forgot. I will not do it, So this is some of the things that we do. So as you know the truth, even we don't like to do, we'll try to find joy in it. Next. Yeah, he is also a lover of animals. Next. All right, next is actually on Ma Guru Priyaji. She's basically our mother for the devotees. So she's a renunciate disciple of Puja Swamiji, and she as well has supported the mission of Swamiji. Next. So Maji is actually from a well-to-do family, right? So as a result of that, she wasn't given chores to do as much. She was given a lot into her academic studies. So her spiritual journey actually began when she was completing her PhD, and her deep feeling for this passion led her to the path of seeking the ultimate truth. So in 1984, Puja Swamiji actually directed Ma. Next. So Puja Swamiji actually directed Ma to renounce her professional life as a lecturer for physics to study the scriptures. She later joined the ashram and dedicated her life to serving Swamiji in all aspects of the mission. Next. So one unique thing about Ma is it's very comfortable to speak to her. You know, whenever I speak to her, it feels like a warm, comfortable embrace. You know, I can just openly express however I feel, good or bad, you know, and she will accept me wholeheartedly like a mother would. Next. Yeah, so she's also very involved with Puja Swamiji and Newton Swamiji in those programs with children, especially in the ashram. Next. So like I mentioned, she's a very loving and soft-spoken person. You know, she has shown so much of concern for others. And a lot of the times when we think of achieving excellence, we think it's something so big, right? It's like, okay, I want to be the CEO of a company, or I want to own a Ferrari. Who had dreams like that? I'm very sure. Anybody else?
Oh my God, no dreams.
Come on, guys. We need to hear something.
Okay, maybe not Ferrari, maybe the latest Lamborghini, McLaren, Mercedes, someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, y'all are happy with Poroduas. With no offense to Poroduas.
It's affordable.
It is.
It's cheap. Right, next. So she's also... So one predominant quality of Maji is the amount of Guru Bhakti, devotion for the Guru and service to the Guru that she has. And she plays a very vital role in the ashram, where she actually has plays the role of an ashram trustee, an administrator, and a guide to all the renunciate ashramites. Next. Next. So these pictures and slideshow is actually all part of their journey, right? So a lot of the times we think spirituality is something so far off, far away from all of us, but actually it's deep within you, right? So now I'll pass the floor to Jnana Selvi to introduce on the workshop.
Sure, thank you. So question, what's the title of the workshop today? You got up in the morning, you had your breakfast, and you came, and nobody told you what this was about. What is the title of the workshop today? Achieving? Thank you. Are we asleep, or you pretending to sleep, or you still judging what's going on? So chill, loosen up, yeah? So question, what does excellence mean? And then there was silence. What does excellence mean? If you don't talk to me, then I got no choice. I'll have to call you guys out. You okay with that? So I am feeling someone wearing white. Since you're seated on the front. What does excellence mean to you?
Goals.
Goals? Nice. Anyone else?
Developing qualities to the best of my ability.
Nice, very nice, thank you. Anyone from this side? What might excellence mean to you? Just because you're not looking at me doesn't mean I cannot see you, yeah? Achievements, yes. What else? And maybe we hear from people who've been associated with Swamiji for quite a bit. Sister Shamni, what might excellence mean to you?
To me, it's using your inner resources to the best of your ability and
Nice.
perform.
Nice, thank you. So what about someone who is in a very demanding profession, where life and death matters? Maybe we hear from Sister Sharina, as in, being a doctor, what might excellence mean to you?
I think for me, excellence, of course, if you relate it to my profession, it depends on what I'm doing. But generally speaking, I think for me, it's doing the best you can. You're giving your all times. So it varies because, sorry. It varies because, maybe I'll use another mic. Huh? Can I use your mic? It varies because I have different roles. But I think regardless of the different roles, in whatever I'm doing, to me, it's doing the best that you can. I think simply stated in a short and sweet way. Thanks.
So I was thinking about this, and of course, when we found out that, we need to be emceeing this workshop, so I was thinking about it, and then one incident came to mind. I'm going to share this incident, but promise you won't laugh, yeah? So it brought back some childhood memories. So here I am, I went to bed early. I got up earlier in the morning, so earlier than normal, all right? And then I managed to do a bit of studying. I said my prayers. So when I said my prayers, I told God, you know what, the next people I meet for the rest of the day, let me see you in them. So I was very impressed, like, you know what, I feel so good about myself because I am going to see God in every single person I meet. So then I go down and I hear my mom call me, Selvi, breakfast ready. So I was like, I am so ready to go to school today and everything, and let's go. And then I hopped into the kitchen, ready to have my breakfast with my mother, and then there was upama. So I was ready to have the best day. So upama is an Indian breakfast. It's very healthy, but it just doesn't taste as good. Right? So for a child, it's usually not one of their favorite breakfasts. So what happened was, I was determined to have a good day, but what got my day messed up? Hello, I'm talking to you. What might have got the day messed up? The upama, isn't it? So what happened? Now I'm looking at the upama and I'm sulking. She doesn't love me anymore. She doesn't know that I don't like upama. She chose to make upama. She doesn't love me anymore. So I'm getting ready to go to school. And what does my mother do? She's like, oh, my poor child. She's not having breakfast and going. She's going to be hungry. So whose days have been spoiled here? My mother's day as well as my day. Might you have any stories where you were determined to be the best version of yourself, however something got in the way? Anyone? Feel free to share.
Bangun.
I think they're thinking.
Oh, they're thinking. Okay. We give some time.
No incidents, sir. You're smiling at me. You've been smiling at me since just now. Is it your mother sitting next to you? Okay, sitting. So another incident we usually have at home is, so we all have dinner, correct? And then we all take our plate to the kitchen sink, correct? Somehow or other, have you noticed, whenever you go to the kitchen sink, the washing just adds up more? Somehow or other. And then you think, how come when brother was washing his plate, it wasn't there? How come when she was washing her plate, it wasn't there? When Appa was washing his plate, it wasn't there? How come when I wash, suddenly got so much washing? Does that happen? Doesn't happen. Oh my God. You all got dishwashers at home, lah. All right. Another incident in school. How many of us went to school? Huh? Went to school, going to school? All right. Have you got this one friend who'll come and ask you, hey, can help me? Maybe it's with mathematics, with physics. And then you will wholeheartedly, with all your heart, you would help them. And then they score better than you. Has that happened? What goes through your mind during that time? So now, because all of y'all nodded, I am going to pass the mic to y'all, yeah?
I'm not really sure. Usually I was the one asking.
I saw you nodding. You were nodding.
I was thinking then why did they ask the question if they are so good? I mean like, because they are one of the smartest students and they come and ask me and then ended up they are scoring high in results.
How did it make you feel?
Confused. Yeah.
I regret helping them. Actually, no, I'll be happy for them. If it's a subject I like, then I'll be angry. If it's a subject I don't like, then I don't mind.
So it depends on the subject. You were nodding.
I was definitely not happy. And I definitely regret it. If now at that point of time, I don't think I was so good to be so kind and think that good for them.
True. So how many of us are already working? Show of hands. All right. So does this happen in the workplace? My boss happens to like light-skinned people. My boss happens to like someone who articulates the English language like the Queen is speaking.
All with the accent, British accent,
Yeah,
American accent.
Yeah, with the accent. Does that happen? Hey, which companies you all work for? La? They doing any recruitment?
Let's join.
Correct. All right. So what happens in the workplace that causes displeasure in your mind? So you determine, you know what the best version of yourself needs to be, but what might get in the way when you're in the workplace?
I have one.
Mm.
You'll be helping your colleague and they take credit for all of your work. And then the boss will look at you and say, what did you do? Have you ever experienced that before?
I'm telling you, they work for some organization that I haven't heard of before.
Amazing bosses they have, man.
Well, that has happened to me. So I'm obviously the brainchild for the background, and then things materialize into a full-fledged event. And then the entire team wins an award and everything, and I am not part of the team. So anger, frustration, and then I sit and sulk because I don't want to do this anymore.
Or when you get in the car, you start cursing all the way back home.
You know, I cannot curse, then my car will be sad. Right? So we have experienced different scenarios where it actually disrupts your peace. All right? This happens on the home front. This happens in school. This happens in when you're university colleges if you're studying. This also happens in the workplace. So how do you maintain this peace? So no matter what happens, if Amma makes upama, so be it. Bless you, upama. Right? If she makes a breakfast I don't like, it's like, oh, she must have got up earlier in the morning and she decided that she's going to make a good breakfast for me, so I need to be happy about it. Huh? The problem is y'all wearing your mask. I don't know whether y'all smiling or frowning also. Yeah. Can't do much with the eyes, no? Okay, if y'all are happy, make your eyes big, big. If you think you don't know what I'm talking about, roll your eyes, yeah? All right. So the other thing that I want to talk about, and something that Anu spoke about earlier, is mental health. So today, one of the things that's been highlighted a lot, and these were in some of the questions that you guys have asked as part of the registration form as well, is how do I maintain a healthy state of mental health? How do I not get agitated? How do I not get frustrated? Might anybody have this? So I know these are the examples I shared are all questions that came up in the registration survey, so I very much know that it could be part of your questions as well, but for some weird reason you're not talking to me. Mental health. Who might feel that you may need help, or what might be the question with mental health? Anyone?
I think one question would be how to manage your thoughts. You know, that relates a lot.
Anybody feel the same thing? Managing your thoughts. How many of you sometimes you have a voice in your head that says, you cannot do lah, you're not good in that, don't do. You do?
Sometimes I feel that there's like another voice telling me what to do. Like I'm two parts, and I don't know which one to choose. So then I tend to get confused and depressed.
And that puts you in a very uncomfortable
Yeah.
state.
For me, it's a bit different. For me, like I have a conscience telling me what's right to do, but I don't end up listening to it. So
So when you have a voice, how do you decide what's the next thing to do? Okay, okay. So as you hear these questions, and if it applies to you, I will kindly ask that you take note of these questions, because later you'll be having sessions with Puja Swamiji, Nutan Swamiji, and Ma. So you can ask them these questions. And in the instance, if you're not comfortable opening up in a big group as well, we will have a breakout session. So you'll meet in smaller groups, and you may ask these questions. All right? So before we move on, have we got any questions? With all the different scenarios that we have played out now, any questions from anyone?
That's a good end gesture though. Yeah, you all can do that, you know. With the mask, we are not able to see. So.
So one of the things when we were driving registration participation for this workshop is we had approached many people. And one of the things that we got told a lot, and Anu is witness to this as well, we were telling people, as in you'll get this time where you can actually ask your questions. If you have any confusions in your mind, you may be able to ask these questions to Puja Swamiji, Nutan Swamiji, or Ma, and you will be able to gain some form of clarity. And the answer both of us got was, that's for the later part of my life. Now I'm very busy with family. I need to sort out my family first, career first, money first, or I'm still working on health and all of this. Spirituality can wait for later. So we asked them when, 40, 50, 70, you know, it will come there. So this got us thinking quite a bit as well, in the sense that, does it really start at 40, 50, 60, 70? So we did a bit of research. We asked a few people who have been in association with Swamiji here, what does it mean to them? So when you look at your life is divided into so many parts. Correct or not? I think Rajinikanth said that in one song. Yeah, he did. So you've got lifestyle. What kind of house you live in, what kind of phone you're using, what kind of car you drive, that's lifestyle. And then you have got family. How much of family is part of your focus? So that is one. Relationship. So relationship between husband and wife, spouses, siblings, all of those. Then you've got social, your friends. Then you have got mental. So are you learning? You're intellectual. Are you growing? So there's so many parts of it. But what we realized is that if spirituality is the foundation of it, all of it, you'll be able to actually try to achieve excellence in every single one of them, because that is what spirituality is about. So if you happen to be a father, you will choose as in, I need to be the best father in the world. If you happen to be a brother, I need to be the best brother in the world, despite of how my sibling treats me. Difficult, right? Oh, I saw that. I saw that. All right. So despite of how my sibling treats me, I am determined to be the best sibling in the world. If I am a son, despite the upama, despite whatever the breakfast, I choose to be the best child. Is it easy? It's not. All right. Then you move into the workforce. You move into school. Am I the best student? Am I the best friend my peers have? Am I the best employee? Or how many times we have told, it's not in my job mandate. It's not my job. Don't ask me. So if you have spirituality as the basis, usually there's no question for that. Correct or not? And why is it there's so much disharmony? Is because my work may be thriving, my family may be suffering, not enough time. Or I spend so much time with the family, we go on holidays and everything, but my work is not doing great. So in those instances, when one area doesn't get enough attention, that causes disharmony, that causes a lot of discomfort within you. So if you're excelling in every single part of your life, if your health is doing very well, your finances are doing very well, work is doing very well, family is doing very well, what would that feel like? Say again? Too good to be true. What would that feel like?
Relaxing.
Relaxing. What would that feel like?
Relief.
Relief. What would that feel like?
Boring.
Boring.
Yeah.
Oh, why boring?
I don't know, it's
Can
not
I go
exciting.
right now?
It's not exciting.
It's not exciting anymore.
Yeah.
Why so?
It's nothing, everything's going good. It's nothing exciting me.
Okay, so these are the questions you want to ask Swamiji later. If everything is going good, Swamiji, then life will be boring. All right? So take note of these questions because these are the questions that we want to ask. Yeah? Are we good with time? So I'm going to give you a few minutes now. All right? I think we've gotten some of the brain juices flowing and everything. Take the time to write down any questions you may have, any doubts, and if you want any clarification from Swamiji later as well, or when you do the breakout sessions with Nutan Swamiji and Ma, you can actually ask them the questions. So the rest of the agenda today, what it looks like is Puja Swamiji, Nutan Swamiji and Ma will be joining us for a bit, after which once they come, we will do an introduction where you get to introduce yourselves to them. Then we have Puja Swamiji's speech. After Puja Swamiji's speech, there is lunch at 12:30, and after lunch we have the breakout session with Nutan Swamiji and Ma. Sounds good? Sounds good? Awesome. All right. So if you want to take the next few minutes just to write, we do have some slips to give you. If you need any pen, papers, and everything, let us know. But just reflect on how things have been going and write as many questions. All right?
विदेशेषु मान्यः स्वदेशेषु धन्यः सदाचारवृत्तेषु मत्तो न चान्यः मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं क्षमामण्डले भूपभूपालवृन्दैः सदा सेवितं यस्य पादारविन्दं मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किम् यशो मे गतं दिक्षु दानप्रतापात् जगद्वस्तु सर्वं करेयत्प्रसादात् मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किम् न भोगेन योगेन वा वाजिराजौ न कान्तामुखेनैव वित्तेषु चित्तं मनश्चेन्न लग्नं गुरोरङ्घ्रिपद्मे ततः किं ततः किं ततः किं ततः किम् अरण्येन वा स्वस्य गेहेन कार्ये न देहे मनो वर्तते मे त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव
Sound check 1 2.
त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव यत्रैव यत्रैव मनो मदीयं तत्रैव तत्रैव तव स्वरूपम् यत्रैव यत्रैव शिरो मदीयम् तत्रैव तत्रैव पदद्वयं ते यत्रैव यत्रैव मनो मदीयं तत्रैव तत्रैव तव स्वरूपम् यत्रैव यत्रैव शिरो मदीयम्
Hello? Okay. Hello everyone, you have 10 minutes, so take your time. Write your questions. If you want to take a bio break, please go ahead. And there's also water outside. Right? Thank you.
यत्रैव यत्रैव मनो मदीयं तत्रैव तत्रैव तव स्वरूपम् यत्रैव यत्रैव शिरो मदीयम् तत्रैव तत्रैव पदद्वयं ते यस्यान्तर्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नाम गोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णं न भवति पुरुषो नो नपुंसं न च स्त्री नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापम् नो तत्त्वं तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि नो तत्त्वं तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृत् कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन् हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः नमो नमो वाङ्मनसादिभूमये नमो नमो वाङ्मनसैकभूमये नमो नमो अनन्तमहाविभूतये नमो नमो अनन्तदैकसिन्धवे नमो वाङ्मनसादिभूमये नमो नमो वाङ्मनसैकभूमये नमो नमो अनन्तमहाविभूतये नमो अनन्तदैकसिन्धवे नान्या स्पृहा रघुपते हृदये स्मदीये सत्यं वदामि च भवानखिलान्तरात्मा भक्तिं प्रयच्छ रघुपुङ्गवनिर्भरां मे कामादिदोषरहितं कुरु मानसं च कामादिदोषरहितं कुरु मानसं च नास्था धर्मेण वसुजये नैव कामोपभोगे यद्भव्यं तद्भवतु भगवन् पूर्वकर्मानुरूपम् ये तत्प्रार्थ्यं मम बहुमतं जन्म जन्मान्तरेऽपि त्वत्पादाम्भोरुहयुगगता निश्चला भक्तिरस्तु त्वत्पादाम्भोरुहयुगगता निश्चला भक्तिरस्तु चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनम् सर्वात्मस्वपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् सर्वात्मस्वपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् सर्वभूतात्मभूतस्थं सर्वाधारं सनातनं सर्वकारणकर्तारं निदानं प्रकृतेः परम् निरामयं
Jai Guru all. Hope the time given to you has been utilized appropriately, effectively, productively. All right, so Swamiji will be arriving shortly. So would we like to welcome Swamiji? So maybe we could just welcome him. He's taking the lift and coming down. So if you could just form two lines on either side as he comes in.
Once he comes, push the chair in front. Just sit here. Just help him. Okay. Sitting down. Or better move the chair and just push the table. No, instead of pushing because once he's now a bit harder to push, move the chair table a bit in front so he can just sit down straight. Really.
We are not getting ready to sing the national anthem, so y'all can smile. Yes. So the reason for the slight delay is because there looks like there's a bit of issues with the ashram. So Swamiji was with them trying to sort out the issues and everything. So he's just wrapping up and he will be coming down shortly. So that's how he multitasks, yeah. So when you think of any organization CEOs, got to multitask, look after different regions. So much to learn, no?
संसारं द्रुततरमसारं सुरपते हरत्वं पापानां विततिमपरां यादवपते अहो दीनानाथं निहितमचलं निश्चितपदम् जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी अवतु मे जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे शन्नो मित्रशं वरुणः शन्नो भवद्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु मामवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ यश्छन्दसा वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासम् शरीरं मे विकर्षणम्.
While waiting for Swami, just a quick announcement since we are near the book table here. So the person who is in charge of the books, her name is Elizabeth. So her name, her phone number is actually on the website as well. But in the instance you want to purchase something and everything, please feel free to approach the counter. A lot of good books in Swamiji's writing, Ma's writing as well. So feel free to check, ask for recommendations. We've got a lot of people here who will make very good recommendations. I personally purchased some good books on recommendations, and I think that was a good start to my own learning of what Swamiji is and what his teachings is about as well. So do take some time just to explore, ask, and then maybe make your decision.
Hello? Yeah. Please come and fill the seats at the front. Thank you.
It's getting a bit crowded at the back, so if we move in front, yeah, that'd be great. Pranam Swamiji, Puja Swamiji, Nutan Swamiji and Ma.
We will now like to introduce the participants.
So we've not asked them to introduce themselves because we were waiting for them to introduce themselves to you. So they are very excited. They all want to speak. That's the hint, yeah, hint, hint. Okay. So y'all must speak, yeah? All right, so let's start with a round of introduction. So you can start by stating your name, where you're from, and what do you do. So if you're in school, which standard you are in. If you're working, what do you do? All right, so we will start with this side and maybe we'll just go one round, yeah?
Hello, okay. I'm Anusia. I'm from Kuala Lumpur and I'm working with Malaysia Institute of Accountants.
I'm Yashoda. I'm from Brickfields, and I'm currently a student at the University of Edinburgh. Yeah, I think that would be better as well. I'm Yashoda. I'm from Brickfields, and I'm currently a student at the University of Edinburgh, Scotland.
Pranam Swamiji and Ma. Oh, ask. Pranam Swamiji and Ma. I'm Nagarani. I'm working in an NGO.
My humble pranams to Swamijis and Ma. I'm Vanita. I'm also attached with the NGO. I'm living in Brickfield.
My humble pranams to Swamiji and Ma. My name is Vanisha Srinivasan. I'm from Brickfields, and this year I'm doing my SPM, which is equivalent to O level. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Priya. I'm from Seremban. I'm working as a doctor in a health clinic.
My name is Darshan. I'm 10 years old. I'm from Chinese school. I'm standard 4.
Hi, I'm Roshan. I am from year 9.
My humble pranams to Swamiji and Ma. I'm Vinal Srinivasan. That's my sister and this is my brother. I'm 14 years old and I'm from Brickfields.
My humble pranams to Swamiji and Ma. My name is Vishwan Srinivasan and I'm from Brickfields. My age is 12 years old.
My name is Nyaneshwar and I'm doing foundation in science. And I'm from Bandar Sunway.
My name is Kavineshwar. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Bandar Sunway.
My name is Michael. I'm actually from Cheras, working in a bank in HR, human resource.
My name is Anandaraj from Bandar Sojana Putra Selangor. I'm own work myself. Thanks.
Good morning, Soniji and Ma. My name is Wu Tai, W-H-Y-E. I'm currently 19 this year. I study as a pre-graduate. It's called STPM in physics, pure science. And I'm also a digital marketer currently, all right, working as a digital marketing. So I'm currently studying and working in the same time. Thank you.
My humble pronouns to Swamiji and Ma. I'm Ziang here. I'm currently 25, working as a SMED under SMED Electronics International company as a software engineer. So yeah, thank you very much.
Pranam Swamiji, Natan Swamiji and Ma. I'm Jiva from Kuala Lumpur and working in the IT industry.
Hi, I'm Nanda Kumar. I'm already a member of SRD family. I'm an accountant by profession with Eversendai Group. Morning to everybody.
Pranams to Nutun Swamiji, Puja Swamiji and Ma. I'm Vignesh. I am an Indian citizen based in Malaysia. I am a business process consultant with the QI Group.
Okay, you introduce.
Hello. Right, I would like to introduce myself as well. I'm Anu, I'm 23 years old. I'm currently working in business development.
My name is Nyana Selvi, working in HR. I head the learning and development team. I'm actually from Ipoh, but I've been living and working in KL for some time. There have been some questions, and one of the questions, and these was a question that came up even during the registration process when we had asked them questions. The question was, what is inner resources? How do we discover these inner resources? And how can we use them to achieve excellence in what we do?
I will first of all recite an invocation. It is meant to shower sufficient blessings for your growth, prosperity, welfare and fulfillment. Shall I do it? All of you can be in a prayerful mood if you feel like doing so. I will close my eyes and do. Shuddho buddho vimuktaha Shrutishikharagiram mukhyatat parirya bhumi Yasmad jadam samastam Jagadidam amrudad vyapya sarvam sthido yaha Yasyam sham shavadaraih Suranaravanajairekshitam sarvametad Tam bhumanam mukundam Hridigatamalam Krishnameva prapadye Tam bhumanam mukundam Hridigatamalam Krishnameva prapadye Madhya hridaya kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udedu sadatam samyak Swatmananda prabodhaka Harihi, Harihi, Harihi Om Tas. All of you are here to discover, identify and utilize the inner resources. To discover, identify and utilize and harness the inner resources. You know what is inner resources? Resources which are within your body, but not as a part of the body like brain, liver, heart or lungs. Within our body, we have got something other than the material body and bodily parts. You produce a sound. Sound is an energy. And you are producing it from your body. The tongue alone cannot produce sound. Our body is animated by something else. That is why we are able to function. You have to get into that area. And one method of doing it is to use the sound. What? Only a living, conscious human being can produce intelligible sound. When anybody is able to produce sound, sound is actually an idea of the mind expressed in sound. I will say it is the audible expression of ideas and thoughts. So whenever you produce a good sound or a good letter, the mind gets involved. Why I said this? I would like you to chant one single monosyllable sound. Along with all of us, we will together chant it. Is it okay? Are you prepared? Treat it only as a sound. But the sound is such that it is capable of acting upon the heart and increase the longevity. There is a particular gland here. Secretion of that gland is very good for health, vigor, etc. That gland will be activated by that sound. The sound is a combination of three syllables. A, U and Say A, U, Have all of you said it? Or some felt shy and kept quiet? A, U, A plus U become O. And when is added, it becomes Om. Though it is a monosyllable, it consists of 3 syllables. And this syllable will activate your mind and brain. Shall I get up and talk? This sound will activate your, fill up the blanks, activate your brain, activate your mind. That is what we want. We are going to discuss a very important subject. All of you should understand and participate in the discussion. By the time we complete the program, all of you must be a totally different person. You must go with Himalayan confidence, Atlantic Ocean confidence, hope, strength. You must be able to understand that I am very strong, I am not weak, I am very, very resourceful. This kind of an impression you must have, and we will make you do so. So, interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Close your eyes. Open the mouth and heart. Join me. While reciting this sound, you must have the feeling. What is that feeling? This chorus sound should permeate the entire globe and shower its benedictions on all creatures upon the earth. This thought process can be nurtured only by the human being, not by the millions and millions of other forms of life. Understand the value of human life, equally the purpose of human life. Keeping this in mind, chant and recite in chorus. Let the sound vibrate, permeate the whole of the earth. Here we go. Very well done. Do better. Very good, very good. I am very happy. After listening to your introductions, I feel that we have got a good collection of people. I generally tell people and also announce from platforms that this Swami is a moving university. I have been moving in India and abroad for the past 66, 67 years. Everywhere I go, I only to address people, I speak. And my university is an open university and open admission. So I generally say, children will be present, middle-aged people will be present, a little old also will be present. Anybody can come. It's a question of who wants it, who wishes it, and who is prepared to spend the time and invest his effort. So I am very happy that young ones are there, adults are there, and pre-adult children also are there. I am very, very happy. Now our role is to speak for all of you and make you understand the subject. The subject is very dear, near, and in a way inevitable for everyone. Discovering the inner resources with the object of achieving excellence in our life, profession, and pursuit. Whenever you hear a word, a phrase, or a caption, what you first have to do is think about what you have heard. Here, discovering the inner resources towards achieving excellence. When you analyze this headline, you will find inner resources stand supreme in this phrase. Achieving excellence and discovering. Apparently, inner resources are there with everyone. Normally, nobody thinks about the inner resources. So you have to discover that you have ample inner resources. And by discovering the inner resources and using them, harnessing them, what will you get? You will achieve excellence in your life. Excellence means what? Whatever is the best, whatever is the supreme, whatever is the most high, whatever is desirable, whatever is good, great and glorious. Suppose you pass the examination, you should pass the examination with distinction, not even with a first class. That is called excellence. Suppose you are walking, you should do it excellently well. Anybody would like to look at you while you are walking, holding your neck, holding your eyes in a proper angle. Be graceful in your gait. When you talk, talk sweetly, talk appealingly, talk effectively. Do you know a full-hearted speech, it has to come from the abdominal region. It starts from there. And it rises up. It touches the heart, then the throat, then the tongue, then the lips and the nose. We put it this way. Nabhi, hrit, kantha, rasana, oshtha, nasika. When your sound touches all these regions, you will find it will have the best and most desirable effect on the hearer. There are some people who will talk, I went there. That will not be sufficient. You have to look into the faces of people, particularly the eyes, and then talk. Hold your head up in front of everyone in this world. You are all born well in a family. You are being bred well by the parents. What is it that you lack? You have a body with 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 hands and 2 legs. Tell me, the most ancient man, did he have anything more? I want an answer. Huh? Did he have anything more? Over the years, the human personality, has it got anything more or has anything reduced in it? So the most ancient man and the present man are the same in his resources. In his resources. Similarly, the world, take the world, ancient world. The ancient world also had solid earth, fluid water, gaseous air, hot and brilliant fire, and the space. These are even now the same. Tell me now, whether the world has changed? basically and fundamentally? Give me an answer. Huh? Has man changed? Has the world changed? Then why are you worried? I am equal to everyone in this world. People who were, people who are, and people who will be. Sri Rama had only 2 hands, 2 feet, 1 mind, 1 intelligence, 1 ego. I also have these. Sri Krishna also had only these. And Sri Krishna says, whoever listens to me, follows me, will become like me. And there are many who are doing so during his own lifetime. This is the type of thinking resources that I want you to develop. Not thoughts which will weaken you, enfeeble you, but thoughts will make you courageous, determined, persevering, dedicated, committed, devoted. All these are qualities of the mind and heart, not of the body. Understand it very well. Now coming to our subject, discovering the inner resources. I would like you to understand what is the meaning of the word resources. All of you have come here to participate in a workshop, which is under the title Discovering the Inner Resources Towards Achieving Excellence. I understand that excellence you may know, discovering also you may know. Inner resources. What is this? And there seems to be a society here. Society for inner resources development. Inner resources development. So are there inner resources? Where are they? And can we develop them? How? So have you ever thought about the word resources here? If I ask you, can you explain what resource is? Whenever you hear a word, every word expresses an idea, a notion. It is a unit and a measure of knowledge. Whenever you hear a word, you should think about it and extract the idea, the notion, the knowledge contained by it. Resources are material or other forms of assets which you can draw from whenever you want. Suppose you belong to a family, very rich family. For any expenses whatsoever, you are confident that I will ask my father or mother and she will give me. That is the resource that you have. But don't think that resources are always material in the form of wealth, currency notes, gold, silver, and other forms of stored from the earth. Certainly not. It can be material, it can also be supra-material. It is something like an asset which you can use in your life. When you use these resources, you will find your life and activity become more effective and fruitful. Resources are such and those which you can draw upon whenever you want, and by drawing upon them and employing them, utilizing them in your life becomes more effective, your activity becomes more fruitful. In other words, anything useful, valuable, enriching and empowering. I want you to absorb these words. Anything that is useful, anything that is valuable, anything that will enrich you and empower you is called a resource. These resources are external as well as internal. The external resources are what earth, water, air, sunrise, etc. contain, fire. That is for science and technology to deal with. I am not going to say anything about it. But I will say all about the inner resources. These are outer resources, which our eyes, ears, etc. can see, can perceive, can comprehend. But mind you, you are a human being. You are a human being. Our personality is a composite personality. This body is only the external, material, physical part of our personality. Our body is made up of food, material substances. Our body is made up of food, material substances. And the whole body is matter, energy, that's all. But no matter and no energy can experience or know. Do you agree with me or not? Huh? Can this experience? Can it know? Our body is also like that. It is fully matter. 80% of the body are water alone. Then other solid substances. This body has no power to experience and no power to know. But we are always experiencing, we are always knowing also. Where from the experience and knowledge come, spring forth. This is where I have to tell you that we have got an inner personality that is not visible to the eyes or audible to the ears. Still we know that we have a mind, we have an intelligence, we have an ego. Our inner personality consists of mind, intelligence and ego. Say? Why are you so feeble? I want you to say assertively, mind, intelligence and ego. These are the only three factors or constituents of the inner personality. It is that inner personality that makes the body function, makes the senses function. Think of a sleeping man. Suppose you are asleep. Your mother or father comes near you, gently opens the eyelids and shows a bunch of flowers. She takes it away. The eyelids close themselves. Next morning, if you are asked, did you see the flower? What will be your answer? No. Why? Physically, the eyes were open. The bunch of flowers was physically shown, but you have not seen. Tell me, so are the eyes seeing or something else? Tell me. This is what I want you to understand. You are not a material person. You are not a bodily individual. Between the body on the one hand and the inner personality, mind, intelligence and ego on the other, tell me if you can compare them, which is far more important and fundamental. You see, you should answer. You have come here for a workshop. What is this? If you are not answering me, then it means I am a fool. I am not able to impart the message to you properly. If you can compare, between the physical inert body and the inner personality called mind, intelligence and ego, tell me which is more important. Huh? Why are you keeping quiet? Do you have an answer? Huh? Then tell me which is more important, the body is more important or the mind etc. more important. Here is where inner resources come. The resources held by the mind and the intelligence, these are called inner resources. Is the idea clear to you? You have a mind. You also have an intelligence. But you don't know what are the resources held by the mind and held by the intelligence. I always quote the instance of Newton, who discovered the law of gravity of the earth. When we had been to UK, the residence where we were, there was an apple tree. Instantly my mind had an imagination. Oh, this is the tree that made Newton discover the law of gravity. From an apple tree, apples are falling from all the different branches and all fall perpendicularly downward. There were others also seeing the phenomenon. All of them picked up the apple and ate it. Newton did not. He was observing. Apple from here, there, at different heights. All of them are falling parallelly and perpendicularly to the earth. Why is it that the apple does not fly or flee? Why should it fall? He started thinking. My dear children, he thought for 1 year. 1 year he thought. Who thought? His mind thought, his intelligence thought. Ceaselessly he was thinking, inquiring, comparing, contrasting, deliberating between the two. All these were within the body, not in the blood of the body, the muscle of the body, the marrow of the body, not in the bone of the body, but in the mind and intelligence within the body. And then he discovered there is a relationship between the apple where it is and the earth below. It is the gravitational pull of the earth that brings every object down within its orbit. Tell me now, how did Newton discover this? Don't you find inner resources in display here? Huh? You also have mind, my dear children. You also have intelligence. Newton's mind and intelligence were not different. But he was committed, dedicated, devoted to think, inquire, discover, know. With the mind you think and feel. With the intelligence you inquire, probe into, and do introspection. What intelligence does is introspection. What mind does is mentation. Mind is consisting of feelings and emotions, thoughts and memory. But the intelligence is always interested in knowing, inquiring. I want you to tell me whether you have a mind or not. Do you have also the intelligence or not? But understand it today, at least from me. These two contain infinite resources. Malaysia had a lot of tin. When I came here, I don't know whether extraction was going on there, but so many places are there. All of them were tin mines. The whole of the tin taken away. What is this? I don't understand. Can we rob the earth like this? A person came to me from Indonesia the other day and he was telling me, after about 30 years, Jakarta is going to be flooded. Why? They have no water. Water is scarce in many islands. I understand that Indonesia consists of 17,000 islands and many of them are uninhabited. Nobody lives there. They are extremely dry. In summer, fire is generated by itself and the whole island gets burnt. So they are extracting underground water. Are you with me or not? Are you with me? Do you have a sympathy? Do you have a love? I am wondering. When the water is extracted, my dear souls, to the extent the water is extracted, that place will become hollow. The earth is supporting, the water is supporting the weight of the earth. When all the water is taken off, what will happen? What? Bolo na. Tell me, what will happen? The earth will shrink. Because the water is taken away. Naturally it is under the sea. There will be floods. So the extraction of resources from the earth, from the water, from air, these are very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. We must think in such a manner that due to our collective life upon the earth, we will not tamper with the earth. We will use the earth, harness the earth, make her more beautiful with greenery and other things. Every activity should be decorational, ornamental, enriching to the earth, never depleting. Never depleting. Can you understand it properly and take a resolution? Never harm nature. Never impair nature. Always try to make her more beautiful. After you die, the next generation comes. And we should bequeath to the next generation a better earth, a better oceanal structure, water, a better air. The sunlight is ample and enough. Harness the sunlight for all forms of energy that you want. Harness the wind. Use everything that you want. One day I read that in the sea we can establish windmills, and all the windmills operating together will give ample energy, electricity for all our purposes. My dear souls, we have an intelligence to think and understand. Man is intelligent. There is nothing inaccessible to his intelligence. Everything is accessible to the intelligence, and he can make a very good task in his life. This much I said only by the way, because you should also know some of the moral and ethical aspects and compulsions of human life. We should preserve our earth, make her more healthy and resourceful. We are born as human beings, not to deplete the earth, but to harness our own inner resources and be happy, contented, and fulfilled. This is our sole purpose of human life. The inner personality is something that people are not aware of at all. Everybody says that I have a mind. Tell me what you know about your mind. Everybody wants to improve life. Improve life. What is meant by improving and improving the quality of life? First of all, you know what life is. Then only you can improve it. I have asked so many people, will you please tell me what is life? I have not thought about it. Not thought. About what? About life. Arey, where is your life centered? What are the factors which constitute your life? Why don't we try to understand? This is also a subject. A university is a place of learning where all subjects necessary for human life available in the world should be taught. But this subject is never taught. Can it become a university then? You look into the definition of university. I never find the word universe linked there. One day I was asked to talk on the golden anniversary of Delhi School of Economics. So I looked into the dictionary, I wanted to say something. Never refers to universe. Can a university be without universe? You look into the definition, you will find such a hollow definition is given. We every time, whatever you know, It is a subject, it is a content of the world. My mouth is getting dry these days. I want to compare yourself, the human beings, with the rest of the creatures. How tall are we? Maximum 6 to 7 feet. Compare ourselves with the rest of the creatures. What is the height of the elephant? Is there any comparison? What about rhinoceros? So many different horses. And take the whale. An adult blue whale weighs 150 tons. 150 tons. And the baby whale suckles 150 gallons of milk from the mother. Compare it with a human baby. So where is our superiority, you tell me? Can we claim any superiority with the body? The elephant weighs 150 tons. And what is the weight of our body? I was surprised to know that this is the story of the whale. An eagle's eye is far more powerful than our eyes. Do you like to hear this? Huh? At least it will produce good introspection. The power of the eagle's eye is 5 times that of the human. Dolphin's hearing is again 5 times that of the humans. Dog is able to smell 40 times. 40 times the human can. A rabbit has 17,000 taste buds, whereas we humans have only 2,000 to 8,000. So tell me, are we superior or they are superior? Tell me. So bodily they are superior. So where is human standing? You say that I am the best, I am the best, I am the best. Where are you the best? With your eyes? With your ears? With your tongue, nose and skin? If these are taken away, tell me what is left in you? Huh? Mind and intelligence. So your superiority is in your mind and intelligence. Our mothers send their children to schools, right from kindergarten classes. The mother feeds the child and looks after the body. She can do only that. If the children's mind and intelligence have to be developed, they have to be given to a teacher. Right from then on, they are trying to develop the mind and the intelligence. But they only teach academic subjects. The syllabus is academic. And nobody ever talks about the mind or the intelligence or the inner resources. What are the inner resources? I will tell you simply speaking, courage. Is courage a quality of the body or a quality of the mind? Huh? Commitment. Tell me. Dedication. Integrity. Exclusiveness. What more do you want? Do you want to be a fool or do you want to be wise? Do you want to be good or do you want to be bad? Now where is the difference between the good and bad? Is it a difference which body makes or the mind makes? So you have to understand quite much that it is the secret is in the mind and the intelligence. Mind must have a proper exposure. The intelligence also must have a proper exposure so that the desirable qualities which will enrich you in your life, make you a better performer and achiever. A better performer and an achiever, those qualities you contemplate upon, you introspect upon, think about, remember with fondness and resolve, resolve, and resolve, and tenacity. All these are mind processes. I remember a quality. I call it desirable. I want to possess it. And I am striving for it. Think of a quality thousands of times and the quality will grow in you. Quality cannot grow by smearing anything on the body. Quality is a coordinate of the mind and the intelligence. So do mental effort, do intellectual effort to bring the quality. I have a disciple called Rajiv Gudara in Delhi, a very tall man. He was working as a customs official. He resigned his job. Very tall person, speaks very fast. One day he rang me up and then said, Swamiji, I can do many things, but I am always neglecting and remembering. I am not able to do. So there are some qualities which I am not having. I must cultivate them. I can do many things, but I am not able to do. I said, what are the qualities you want? At least name 2 of them. He said, commitment, added dedication. Are you with me? Huh? Yes? So shall I speak? Commitment, dedication. I heartily laughed over the phone. Rajiv, will you do what I ask you to do? Yes. You are sure? Yes. Go on saying commitment, 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 commitment. I want to be committed, I want to be committed, I want to be committed, commitment, 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 dedication, dedication, dedication. It's not enough if I do, but I should do it with dedication and exclusiveness. Go on saying like this. Not hundreds of times, thousands of times. Call me after 5 days. You know what happened? He called me on the 3rd day. Swamiji, commitment has grown in me. Commitment has? Will you believe me? Are you prepared to believe what I say? Arey, your mind cannot escape the quality. When you say, I want the quality, who wants? It is not the body or the tongue or the mouth or the muscle. It is the mind. The law governing the mind is, ya matihi sa gadir bhaved. Whatever the mind thinks, that the mind becomes. Think of courage, you become courageous. Think of integrity, you become integral in character. You have the integrity. If you want to win a goal, think of winning, not losing. 1 year you study in a school or a college, and for 2.5 years an examination is held for the subjects you have learned. 1 year study, can you not write in 2.5 years? You have studied for 1 year and you are writing only for 2 hours. Why should you fear? Go to the examination hall waving your hands, heartily rejoicing, read the question paper, if necessary a second time, a third time, and when ideas are clear, start writing whatever is there in the brain, that alone will come out, and answer, fold the paper and give and come away. Why are you not able to do it? You don't have the presence of mind. You don't have the freedom, the relaxation that you want. All these are qualities of the mind. The mind grows by thoughts, by feelings, by memory, by remembrance. One boy, Aravindan by name, has come with us. His mother used to bring Aravindan right from young age to our ashram. Very young. Ma, can you tell me when? 8 years. When he was 8 years old, he used to come. His mother has cultivated in him a very good habit. He looks after the house very much. If necessary, sweep and wipe, wash vessels. And even at that age, he could heat the coffee or tea and drink, etc. Somehow the mother had taught. I was very happy to hear it. One day, when he was going from the ashram, he was crying. It was very surprising. An 8-year-old boy going along with the mother from the ashram after spending a few hours. I was asking, why is he crying? The mother did not reply and he did not certainly reply. Do you know why he was crying? He was reluctant to go from the ashram. He studied and in the 10th class, he had scored 81% marks. But when it came to the 12th class, he scored only 78%. And that was not ample enough to get a creditable admission to the college. For people belonging to the lower levels, there are reservations, etc. If you want to get it on merit, this 78% is not sufficient. It should be more than 80. He announced the results to me, and after 3-4 days he came and said, Swamiji, I have something to tell you. What? You know why I did not score enough? No, I don't know. You tell me. Because I did not give the examination the importance it deserved. I don't know whether you follow me. Here is a boy telling me that I did not score well because I did not give the examination the value that should have been given. The examination marks me, and that marking will be the ground on which I will be able to go to the next class and get a prestigious admission. I did not think about it. I did not introspect and become sufficiently conscious of what the examination and scoring meant. I said, Aravindan, this is what generally happens. Students do not give enough importance to the study that they are undertaking. They should understand why they are studying, why they are acquiring knowledge, and what is the purpose. It is a lack of applying the mind and intelligence. Applying the mind and the intelligence. Then only the inner resources, all the qualities, skills, merits and excellences will come out. When we speak of achieving excellence, the excellence does not belong to the body or the tongue, the eyes or the ears. Excellence is a quality. It is a merit. And that belongs to the mind and the intelligence. So in order to achieve excellence, tell me, where will you tap? What will you tap? Answer me. Are you afraid when I talk so firmly? Or you like it? Then you should answer me also. Where or what will you tap for excellence? Mind. So from today onwards, I want you to think and dream. Excellence. Excellence. I want to be excellent. So my dear children, my dear grown-up people, you have to become excellential from today onwards. Not only in one subject or one field. I am qualitatively going to be excellent in seeing, in hearing, in talking, in my character, in my behavior, in my interaction. I use three phrases. What is that? Characteral elegance, behavioral majesty, and interactional excellence. These are the subjects I talk about wherever we go. Our whole epic narration is on this. In character, you should be spotless. Character. Stainless. In your behavior, People should love to see you behave. Behavioral majesty and interactional excellence. You have to interact at home, in the professional front, social front, school, etc. In all the interactions, the fields are different, but the interacting individual is the same. So imbue the quality of excellence in your own mind and intelligence. If your mind is excellent, whatever you do will be excellent. If the intelligence become excellent, every performance will become excellent. Do you agree or disagree? So, where should be your focus from today onwards? Tell me. Is it here or is it internally? The focus should be your own mind and your own intelligence. So our Aravindan performed well. In BSc he got 85% and in MSc he gained 89%. Then he joined C.V. Raman's Institute, RRT, as a research assistant with scholarship. He went to Australia and in laser optics he had taken a PhD. I can attribute all these things only to that one sentence he told me that day. Swamiji, I did not give it the importance that was due. The introspection started that day in his mind. When the mind and the intelligence became active and vibrant to analyze what happened and the deficiency he had in him, the whole picture changed. My dear souls, I want you to respond to me. Will you also apply your mind and intelligence likewise? Yes. Huh? Yes. And tell me what the response or the outcome is. You have got a resourceful mind, a resourceful intelligence. That intelligence which discovered the gravity of the earth, which was operating right from the time the earth came into the orbit. But nobody knew about it. One Mr. Newton persisted in it. That persistence in thinking, in inquiry, that resulted in the discovery. Do you understand what is inner resources now? You have heard about Sri Rama. He had only 2 hands, as I said, and 2 feet. Ravana, the great emperor, he had 10 faces, 10 heads, and 20 hands. Is there any match between the two? It was Ravana's own palace and resources. Sri Rama went all the way from India. He left the palace and he was living in the forest. And in the forest he made friends with Sugriva and finally built a causeway to go to Lanka. And this Rama with a few monkeys, he went there. For what? Tell me. To salute Ravana and get some presents and come back. He went there to fight and subdue him. You know what happened? Ravana was very powerful, unconquerable. The last day of the war arrived. Ravana went there. Sri Rama started hitting one neck after the other. So the first neck that was hit fell. He hit the next. By the time it fell, the first neck sprouted again. Are you following me? The neck fell. By the time the second neck fell, this came up. He hit the third one. The second also came up. What is this? I am cutting the neck off, but it comes again. Tell me what you will do. So many of you are here. Tell me what you will do. Call an astrologer? Rama said, closed his eyes. Closed his eyes. He wanted to tap the inner resources. The right suggestion should come to me. Here's an encounter where my arrow is powerless. Something besides the material power the arrow has must grace me now. The next arrow was directed at the heart. Ravana fell. All the next were resting upon. So when he hit the heart of Ravana, he fell. Where from did he get this suggestion? My dear souls, all kinds of growth in the whole world are from inside to outside, never outside to inside. Imagine a huge tree. It comes from where? From a tiny seed. Where from did you come? From the mother's womb. Where from the fetus started growing? From a particle, from a molecule, from an atom. In about 7 to 8 months, a whole baby is well formed. And the baby comes out to interact with the endless world of infinite variety. Tell me, all the growth from inside. This inside contains all the resources. You say you are seeing. What are you seeing? The objects of the world you are seeing. You see a tree. The tree is standing there and you are here. Tree doesn't come to you, you don't go to the tree, but still you see the full tree. The eyes are very small, the eyes cannot contain the tree at all. So you tell me, where are you seeing the full tree? Huh? In the mind. The eyes cannot contain the tree, you see the sun. 145 million kilometers away from the earth. How are you seeing? You see the refracted sun. Ultimately, it is an image imprinted by the mind in it. So the entire world is perceived as mind's own imprint in the mind, in the mind, in the mind. So when you refer to the world outside, are you not referring to your own inner resource in the form of imprint which the mind produces? The whole life is mental. The whole life is inner. All the resources are held by the inside. This is what I want you to know. This excellence is a quality, like any other quality. Whether you will do a job well or in a half-assed manner. I have found some people, particularly women, a very good sari they will wear, but in a very ugly manner. They should do justice to the dress. You should keep your kitchen clean, bathroom clean. Kitchen is the place where you cook and eat food. Every form of impurity in the kitchen will get into you through the food you cook. So keep it clean. And toilet is the place, bathroom is the place where you wash all uncleanliness. Keep it clean. Like your dress is clean, keep the body clean, keep the mind clean, keep the intelligence clear. This clarity of the intelligence and the purity of the thoughtfulness, these are the two fundamental inner resources that I want you to cultivate. And mind you, what is the resource? Look into the dictionary if you want and understand the meaning. It is the presence of materials or other forms of assets which you can draw upon whenever you want, to whichever extent you like. There is no limit to the courage that you can have. The 7-year-old Prahlada, I think our SIRD people should give you more of this. The 7-year-old Prahlada was confronted by Hiranyakashipu, his arch enemy. The father, instead of protecting the child, decided to cut off his head And this 7-year-old boy folded his hands and remained. The father questioned him, "How do you deny me? Where from do you get the courage to deny me?" "My dear father, there is only one source of strength, not only for me, for Indra, Chandra, and the bearers of the earth, etc. Even for you, there is only one source, and that is Lord Hari." The Asura father, the demoniacal father, started blazing. Hari was his enemy number one, and his son is vouchsafing upon him. He decided, this is the last of it. So he drew the sword and stepped forward to cut off his neck. Meanwhile, he asked a question. "Where is your Hari?" He said, "My Hari is everywhere." Everywhere. The father was baffled. What 70-year-old people, staunch devotees would not say, Prahlada, a 7-year-old boy, says, "My Lord is everywhere." Everywhere. Is he in the pillar? Yes, my dear father. Bas. His role is over. Yes, he has spoken the truth. Then Hiranyakashipu could not do anything. He marched towards the pillar and hit it. Then suddenly the Narahari form emerged from there. Tell me, which worked here? Is it external resources or internal resources? Inner resources. My dear souls, you are more than 7 years old. You have a mind. You have an intelligence. Excel like the young Prahlada. Even against his own tyrannical father, he only remained folded his hands. He never had succumbed to fear, doubt, delusion, or fear. He simply remained in his own natural innocence, poise. And what happened? It simply happened. The world is not mute. It's very, very sensitive. What happened with Prahlada can also happen with all of you. But we are not going into it. That is spirituality and devotion. Let us keep it away. But I want you to tap your mind and intelligence sufficiently well so that you will mentally be strong. You will have the presence of mind to deal with any unexpected situation, and every time you will not lose your confidence. You will have a feeling, entrust any job to me, I shall do it. At least I shall make an endeavor. Don't fear. Be bold, be confident, and proceed. Proceed. You are not the first person to be born in the earth. We don't know how many generations of humanity have come here and gone. You are not the first. By the glory of human birth, you have a mind and intelligence, and both of them are far more resourceful than earth, ocean, air, fire, and space. Space is inert. But you are not. The material space is insentient, but you are sentient. So tell me, are you not space plus or space minus? You don't understand my language? Are you below space or above space? Why don't you say that? Silence will not work. I don't think I have to tell you anything more. Some functional details are there that we shall postpone. Okay, shall I sit? Huh? Shall I sit? Okay.
Anyone have any thoughts, any enlightenment messages after Swamiji's speech? This is not going to work here. We ask you a question and you look at me, I look at you, you look at me, I look at you. Not going to work. Okay, so let me ask you. So, what did Swamiji speak about? Anyone like to share? Your key takeaways? Anyone?
I think it's about mind, mostly about mind intelligence. I think that works mostly. Like for example, if I want to go to work, if I feel lazy, I always tell myself, I'm not lazy. I think I'm going to do this well. The whole day is going to be great. And when I go to work, everything was just great, like excellent actually. Because it's all about what you're going to put inside your head. If you're going to say it's going to be a bad day, you deserve what you get. So I think that's great. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? You all look as if you got lots to say, but nobody is moving. So I'm going to pass the mic and you can share what's happening, yeah? You understand? You don't understand?
Somebody talked about how mind and intelligence is the inner resources and how that is important if we want to achieve excellence, because our mind and intelligence has the capacity to give us what we need.
Yeah, exactly what I have to say.
Actually, I myself experienced a little bit of. Actually, I myself experienced a little bit of inner self, inner resources. So, for example, because previously I was working in Genting. So, in Genting is a pretty harsh environment for a third-party company, and how I was able to get through it was the people around me was not as friendly as you think, because at first, if you don't get to know them, then they are not that friendly. So, but once you get to know them, they are very friendly. So what I mean is, because of the persistence of going to work every day, that get me through all of it. So all this hardship, it's all thanks to inner self and inner resources. Yeah, so it's an achievement for me that I learned the inner resources up Genting. Yeah, that's it.
Are you determined to do something differently after hearing Swamiji today?
I just didn't expect I encounter inner resource earlier. Yeah. Anyone else?
Alright. First of all, I'd like to thank Swamiji for sharing, because I would say at the age of 12, with a tender age back then, I discovered an amazing book inherited by my father. He gave me a book which is called Law of Attraction, written by Rhonda Breen, which from that moment itself, I read the book front and back upwards. I had the first thought, it was the first lesson of inner excellence. From then, the universe, the law of attraction, bring gratitude and all of that. It planted one of the seed in me of inner excellence. And when Swamiji shared with the lesson just now, it actually, I would say, enhances the thinking, the thought to move forward from this very end. With the inner thought itself, it's not just what is happening in the universe. For me, for my lesson, I learned today, it's how you yourself, within yourself, encounter and how do you react. That is the most important. It's not what's happening out there, it's when the situation comes above, floats above the water, how do you react? And if, like our sister, the MC, shared, when you had a breakfast this morning, which is unpleasant, the way that you react actually changes the whole day of the mood. If you think that it's nutritious, yes, it's correct, but it's not really that tasteful, all right, not really that delicious, it actually ruins the rest of the mood of your day itself. But if you think of gratitude, say, hey, my mom worked this early in the morning just to make this very nutritious food of breakfast for myself to start the day, if you twist that thought of gratitude, it actually brings a very happy mood for the whole day itself. So even throughout the day, if you experience something really bad, you say that it's okay, it will go on. I want to do it. I want to have a great day today, so you move on with a very positive vibe. All right, so with that, I would say thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Day is all about harnessing our inner resources to shift our perspectives. Right.
So I think now we'll actually break for lunch, but before that we let Swamiji go. Yeah. so Puja Swamiji, Nutan Swamiji and Ma, they'll take their leave now. So thank you for those who asked questions. Thank you so much. I think it means a lot when you actually hear your key takeaway items